Karen, your go-to relationships and communication coach. I equip you with applicable connection strategies so you can cultivate more meaningful relationships with yourself, others, and Jesus. Today, we're unpacking emotions in faith. There are certain emotions that feel easier to bring to God than others. And when we don't bring all of ourselves, including the tough stuff, into our relationship with God, it shifts how we see Him and how we think He sees us. So let's go there. Does anything you bring to God ever feel like too much? I tend to think God only wants to see the best of me. Maybe every once in a while He can handle a meltdown, but overall, anything besides grateful and content is too much. And the funny thing is that I've lived my whole life this way. Yet up until 6 months ago, I would have told you that was not true about me. Surely I believed that God cared about all my emotions. I thought it. I did not believe it. I have always struggled to express anger, sadness, grief, fear, and really any emotion that wasn't neat and tidy. I denied them to the point that I only recognized their presence when they erupted out unexpectedly. As I uncovered how uncomfortable I was with experiencing and expressing difficult emotions, I realized that's exactly how I brought my emotions to God too. Volcanic eruption and all. Here's how denial of emotions plays out in faith. There's this very believable lie that creeps in, and it says, you can't be disappointed and believe God is good. Because if I did believe God is good, then shouldn't trust feel easy? So I should just pray and let it go. But if I am honest about my disappointment in God, am I lacking faith? I know in my head that God can handle my anger, my confusion, my disappointment, but actually allowing myself to talk to Him in that way feels wrong, even though it's allowed. It's a lose-lose situation that doesn't allow for honesty. And if we can't be honest with God, the Creator, then trust erodes. Friend, it does not diminish our faith to have common relationship emotions with God. It strengthens intimacy to let Him in. Our thoughts and our beliefs, when left without reflection, steal what we really desire: deep intimacy with God. And when self-abandonment gets wrapped up in religious thinking, it turns into beliefs like, God doesn't care about my life. He's not listening to me. He never answers me anyway. And when these beliefs commandeer your thoughts, they yield influence over your faith. Each twinge of pain tells a story of how I see Jesus and how I think He sees me. Our past experiences in this world cannot fully be separated from our intimate experience with an out of this world God. And if God really is someone that we get to have relationship with, then that means we can have common relationship emotions with Him and about Him. We're human. He knows that. He's not surprised. So how do you decide which emotions God can handle? And at what point you should go to Him with it? Your answer to this question tells you how comfortable you really are with bringing all of you authentically into His presence. All of you means all. The hidden resentment, disappointment, frustration with the waiting, all. And when we're busy analyzing what God expects from us, we forget that God cares about the test that you're nervous to flunk. God cares about the anxiety over finances in your marriage. God cares about your loneliness in friendships. He cares about your recurring thought that you're ruining your kids and you feel like a failure as a parent. God cares about the joy as you see the blossoming trees in spring. God cares about how you're doing on a Tuesday at 3:06 p.m., wherever you're at. He cares. So keep this truth handy when you're feeling like you're too much. This phrase, "this doesn't matter," isn't in God's vocabulary. He will hold crises and mundane moments with you. Just invite him into it. And when you believe every part of you is good enough to bring to God, it has a ripple effect of genuine care in your relationship with yourself and others. If you're looking for more on asking big faith questions, you can use the link in the description to check out content related to this podcast topic. And if you loved this episode, I'd be so thankful if you left a review on whatever platform you listen on. Thanks, friend.